What I want to do in this video is test all these knives side by side so you can see which one is right for you and whether there is really noticeable difference between cheap, mid-range and expensive knife. Hi, it's Jack from Headface and I bought the cheapest kitchen knife I could find. This one. And I got it for only one reason, to compare with the other knives that are much more expensive. So most of the home cooks face the same question: should I save money on knives or invest in a premium one? Knives are a tricky business, and knowing which one to spend your money on can make or break your cooking experience. So on my left, I've got a cheap 20 knives, and this one is about 75 baht knife made by Korean blacksmiths. And in the middle, I've got mid-range knife just over 100 from one of the most popular brands. And I've got two premium knives that cost over 200, one from well-known brand, one from my own line. Before we start, just quick note, this video isn't sponsored. Who's gonna sponsor me? Even though one of the knives is from my own brand, I will show you everything exactly as it is. So let's start with the cheap knife. First, let's compare the look and the finish of the knives. So this is less than $20 Kiwi knife among cheap knives. It is almost as famous as Victorinox. The wooden handle is finished quite well in this price. And the blade also very thin. It's about 1mm. Maybe they made it thin because the sharpness is weak. So they try to give the feeling of good cutting power by making blade slim. Next, this is the $75 Korean blacksmith knife. Again, the steel is not clear. And the patina on the blade and the oil coating showed, so maybe it can be rusty easily. It is hammer forged, so I can expect some good cutting abilities, but it has quite thick blade. It's about a little bit over 3mm. So maybe the cutting texture is not gonna be that smooth, but the edge is gonna be quite sharp, I expect. And then it looks more useful for rough work like fish or meat cutting. Now let's see the $100 knife. It is not exact 100, but yeah, it's in that range. It is light and it has trendy one-piece design. Compared to the other two knives, it looks modern and stylish, but the handle is quite narrow, so the grip is not very good. Many reviews also say this handle is quite slippery. The strong point is quite clear. It is highly rated for sharpness, and the edge retention is not bad. And it has quite thin blade, about 2mm I believe. Yes, it's 2mm. So it's gonna make quite clean and smooth cut. The problem is the handle. For long cooking session, this knife can cause fatigue. But for short cooking, like a few times a day in a home cooking, it can be an attractive choice. Okay, now the $200 German knife. It has the classic French knife profile with the high tip. The weight balance is focused more on the handle side, so it is made for rocking motion cutting. It uses German steel. The finishing and designs are excellent, but the weight balance is maybe matter of personal preference. And the blade thickness as well. And the last one, the Japanese style Gyuto. It uses Fujiten steel and it is hammer forged. The blade is quite thin. It's about 2mm. The handle finishing is good and the blade balance is also nice. This is from my own brand, but I promise once again I will review it honestly and fairly. Next, let's talk about the hardness. One of the main specs we can check by number is the Rockwell Hardness. If the number is too high, the knife becomes hard and sharp but loses flexibility, so it chips more easily. If the number is too low, the knife does not chip, less sharp, and it can be bended. So for this knife, the hardness is quite hard to predict, but I can expect it below 55 HRC. But this one is more hard to predict because I don't know which steel do they use and then what kind of heat treatment do they use, and I don't have enough information. But I want to believe it has quite good quality because it's the blacksmith's own made, handmade. And this one, when I searched it, the hardness level is 56 to 58. This is typically the level of premium home knives and the entry-level professional knife. And this German knife, when I searched it, the Rockwell hardness level is 58 and Japanese Gyuto knife is 60 HRC. But high hardness does not always mean better. Forging is also important. forging makes the steel structure more dense and remove impurities. This affects sharpness a lot. However, Rockwell Hardness is one of the clear spec we can compare with number. Now let's actually sharpen them. We will use the same whetstone for all knives. For each knife, I will check until the apex is made. Once the apex is complete, I will stop sharpening. The kiwi knife becomes sharp very quickly. The blacksmith one also gets sharp without much effort. The mid-range knife is also not too hard to sharpen, but starting from the $200 knives, it takes a bit more time to sharpen compared to the cheaper ones. Here we can feel the difference of professional level knives. This $20 kiwi knife becomes sharp very quickly. Yeah, that's it. Sharpen very quickly. So this $75 of blacksmith knife takes double time than the kiwi knife. It is quite harder than the kiwi knife, but it doesn't take double time just for the hardness, because it's quite slippery, because it's not that impuritized. That's why it doesn't grip the stone that well. Yeah, that's why it takes almost double time than the kiwi knife, but definitely harder than that one. This $100 range knife, it's easier to sharpen it than I expect, because the hardness level is in between 56 to 58, but it grips stone quite well, so sharpen it quite easily. So I can definitely recommend it for the home cook or the beginner chef, because it has easy maintenance function. From the $200 range, I can tell the hardness level is totally different. This German chef knife, and then it is quite hard and it's quite slippery as well. So this one took most of the time for sharpen. So if you are beginner for the sharpening or maintenance, I cannot really recommend this knife. This Japanese style Gyuto knife, it grips the stone quite well, so sharpen it quite easily. It's even harder than the German steel one, but it's easier to sharpen. Now let's test the sharpness. All knives are sharpened under the same condition. We'll do 3 tests: cutting paper, slicing a tomato, and shaving hair. Let's see it together. Oh. Ooh. With the cutting paper, we can't see that big difference. But with the slicing a tomato, yeah, there's small difference. The tomato is move a little bit with the less sharp one. And then the shaving hair shows us the dramatically difference. Next, let's check the edge retention. I will cut the cardboard boxes first, and right after, I will test slice the tomato. And then I will repeat it until the knife cannot slice the tomato. Let's check it out. I sliced it 100 times. I check it every 10 times cut, and now starting to get blunt. $75 of Korean blacksmith knife. I cut it 340 times of cutting board, and then now it's getting blunt. For mid-range price knife, I use 350 times of cardboard cutting, and now it's starting to getting blunt. I tried 620 times cardboard cutting, and now it's not fully blunt, but it's just starting to getting blunt. You see? Three hundred, 600, 900, 1040 times cardboard cutting, and now it's getting blunt. Not fully blunt yet, it's just getting blunt. I can't do this longer. I cannot. It is still sharp. It is. But 1000 is enough to prove for the good edge retention. Let me stop. This is cheap and easy to use without worry, but it gets dull very fast. Even buying a Whetstone feels too much for this knife. It is better just use a honing rod before cooking and replace the knife when it fails. And $75 blacksmith knife. If you don't care about the modern design and if you manage the rust well, the performance is not bad. But the spine is thick, so it is not good for delicate cut. It is more suitable for rough cut like meat or fish. The sharpness and edge retentions are okay for this price. And then the mid-range knife. It is good for home use. The sharpness is excellent for this price and the edge retention is not too bad. But the handle is uncomfortable, so long cooking sessions are difficult. Still, for short and daily cooking at home, this knife can be highly recommended. And the premium grade German knife. Now we are entering the professional level. The hammer forged good steel blade is sharp and the edge retention is solid. Because the bolster does not go all the way down, it is more comfortable for rocking motion style than the other French style knife. So this knife shows true professional performance. Thin and light, great for precise cutting. The balance is perfect for the pinch grip. The edge retention is even better than German knife, but it may not be best for rough use. Sometimes even professional chefs use cheap or mid-range knives in the kitchen because they resharpen them often. My recommendation is for professionals. Using a professional grade knife will reduce fatigue and give more stable performance. Still, there is no one single best knife. A sushi chef's best knife will not work in the butcher's shop. The best knife for you depends on your cooking style, your environment, and your budget. So, which knife would you choose? Leave your opinion in the comments. And if this video was helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. I will share more videos about knives and cooking in the future. Thanks for watching.